Thank you, thank you, thank you. Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Today, I am bringing you some really good cannabis news. It's a short story, but a good one that'll leave you feeling warm and fuzzy about what we're doing in our industry. So, my headline today reads, Arkansas using medical cannabis taxes to fund free school lunches. Arkansas is using medical cannabis tax revenues to fight food insecurity in the state, with an $87 million sent to schools throughout the state to help students access low-cost or free lunch. Medical Marijuana Commission spokesperson Scott Hardin said that the state has collected so far $115 million from the cannabis tax. He says if someone is on a reduced school lunch, they are now paying 50 cents to $1. That medical marijuana revenue steps in and pays that to cover the students and make sure that they get it for free. So really, students in the state will not be having to pay whatever the burden is, and it's completely eliminated now. The funds had previously been earmarked to help the University of Arkansas's medical school to obtain a National Cancer Center designation, but Hardin did not give any indication as to why this change was made. The article does go further in saying that since the medical cannabis program launched in the state of Arkansas, and again, this is medical, in 2016, they said the sales have topped $1 billion. And according to state data, there were 98,011 active medical cannabis ID cards in the state. And that was just as of December 2nd of this year. You guys, I just wanted to share this great news. I love when we hear what our community tax revenue is able to do in our communities. I would love any other really warm, fuzzy stories or updates that you may have heard of recently. And put this feather in the cap for Arkansas. Nicely done.
I think this is fantastic. And, Arkansas has a pretty high poverty rate. So, there's a number of kids that are going to be able to benefit that wouldn't normally be able to eat without this program in place. So I think this is a fantastic use of tax revenues going to a great cause, a great source. And I totally support this with any jurisdiction enacting a similar policy.
I think it's good. I think it's good.
Oh, sorry. I just want to give you one little more nugget. I looked at some statistics about Arkansas. 29% of its population is under the age of 18 now, and almost 50% of the households don't even meet minimum.
Yeah, it's a very, very, very impoverished state.
Yeah, on one hand, I do think it's good. It's a good program and everything. On the other hand, I'm like, if you're eating the school lunch, school breakfast, you shouldn't have to pay for it. Mm-hmm. Period. I think kids should have the option. A school lunch and school breakfast is trash, anyways. They shouldn't have to pay.
But now that it's paid for with weed money, they're probably going to get better food, Rico.
But on the flip side of that, there's going to come a point where these weed companies can't pay for those lunches anymore because they can't pay their own bills.
But the weed companies aren't paying for it. The consumer is paying for it through the taxes.
I think there's two sides to this, right? One,
yes. I'm torn. That's what I'm saying. I think it's positive on one end, but the long-term effects, this program is not going to be able to hold that up.
Hold on, Rico, if you were a kid in Arkansas and you all of a sudden you were getting fed a meal that you weren't having previously.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing on the short term. I'm talking about the long-term effect. It's not going to last for long. I'm just all these cannabis companies in other states, are they still making all of these donations? No, they're trying to keep their lights on.
Yeah. I think the real issue with this type of thing, again, first let me clarify, if our tax dollars from our industry are going to anything, they should be going to free school lunch, not to law enforcement, even the amount of money that's given to rehab, regulation, all that stuff. This is a great use of tax proceeds, but I think there's two issues with it. The one and main one is that stories like this become a poster child for legalizing for the purpose of generating tax revenue. And I think when that happens, that's very dangerous, because now you have exorbitant tax rates, excise taxes at the state or the county level, and that's what's going to perpetuate the legacy market. So again, I kind of like with what Rico said, like if they're exclusively funding their free lunch program with cannabis tax dollars, like I don't know how sustainable that is. The prices eventually over time with economies of scale and legalization are going to fall. So
yeah, but once they're doing it, Soham, they're going to end up having to fill that, because that's going to look really bad to their voter base if they cancel that program in lieu of others.
We'll find another reason. There's always some other reason.
I think you guys agree. I think Rico makes a solid point on that. But this is I think what we're missing is these lunch programs are being paid for by taxpayers no matter what, whether the cannabis tax funds them or not, right? So now, because we are using the cannabis tax to do it, we get to kind of trumpet that and highlight that in like what Soham said, in the sense of like being able to show this and say, hey, look, this generates tax dollars. I think that's actually a beneficial thing in the sense of now we bring over some conservatives and some fiscal conservatives that can say, hey, look, wow, this actually generates some money here, and maybe that's something that we should look into, or maybe that's something that's feasible. Now, what has to happen after that is really high taxes that can't be sustained. Now those conversations can be opened, like, okay, now that we're using these things for certain earmarks, let's make them so that they can be sustainable. Let's not make it a one-time buy. Let's look at the longevity of this tax coffer and be able to sustain these meals off of a cannabis tax for X amount of years going forward.
Yeah, and just real quick, the biggest economic booster in Arkansas is the agriculture industry, and you have a bunch of major corporations out there too. Why are they not paying for these free lunches already?
Oh, and
Tyson Foods has millions of square foot of chicken houses all over eastern Arkansas. Right. Walmart is headquartered in Bentonville.
I'm super impressed. I continue to be impressed with the philanthropy and the constant giving back to the communities of the cannabis industry. But that's where we come from, right? Mm-hmm. Like, how about like some of these tax dollars that are not being paid by these major industries? How about those be diverted into these programs so we don't have to be the ones? We're the sacrificial lambs. We go out and we do this stuff like, oh, it's great, let's legalize, and then when we're going out of business, crickets, right? There's nothing. They just let people go out of business and let these corporations take over. That's all I'm saying is these huge corporations that are not paying taxes already, make them fucking pay for it. And make cannabis do it too.
Rico,
why can't we all do that?
Rico, I've seen two really great comments in the chat today. One of them from Dr. Mark Chaldone, who said that Swifties smoke mids. And the second one is from Justin Benson, who says that they should be spending the money on birth control.
Damn, son.
Yeah.
I don't think birth control is legal in Arkansas.
Oh man, we got to roll the Luke.
Let's do it, my man. You got Luke intro?
Luke,
is that on me?
Oh, Luke had to dip.
Up next.
Luke had to dip.
Hey,
Luke had to dip.
Unfortunately, Luke had to leave right at 10.
No worries.
Okay. You want to paraphrase Luke's story? Or we want to go to Luke's story tomorrow? Roll it over.
Let's see. Let me see if I can.
Yeah, I think we have to roll it over.
Yeah, we might just roll this over.
Let's roll it over. Let's close it out. All right, y'all. Sorry about that, man. Luke, we love you. We love you, dope daddy. And that being said, we are at the top of the hour,
you can
everybody.
read
Thank
it on highat9news.com.
Yes, you can. Check it out. So, the more you know.